Hi everybody. In this video, we are going to discuss about the same topic called as the post-fertilization events. Post-fertilization events. In the previous video, we have studied about how the embryo develops. So here, we are going to study development of dicot embryo. How the dicot embryo will be developed. How the dicot embryo will be developed. Now here, the shepherd's purse. Okay, shepherd's purse. Otherwise Capsella bursa pastoris, Capsella bursa pastoris, belonging to the family Crucifera. Okay, in this they have studied how the development of the dicot embryo will be taking place. So they have taken this particular plant, or in this plant they studied how the embryo will be developing, called as what? Shepherd's purse, otherwise called as what? Commonly it is called as shepherd's purse, otherwise it is called as Capsella bursa pastoris, belonging to the family Crucifera. And this development of dicot embryo in capsilla is being discovered by the scientist known as Hansteen. Okay, the scientist known as Hansteen. He is the one who discovered how the embryo will be developing in dicots. So in capsilla, if you are looking at the ovule, the body of the ovule is curved. Okay, the body of the ovule is curved. Okay, so the body of the ovule is curved, and due to which even the embryo will be appearing curved. Okay, so the ovule is in curved shape, and that's why even what is curved now, it is the embryo. So embryo will also be appearing in curved shape. So here, if you are looking at the embryo, it is appearing like a curved shape. Why the embryo is in curved shape? Because the ovule is in curved shape. The body of the ovule is curved shape in capsilla. So that's why even the embryo will be curved. Okay, even the embryo will be appearing curved in shape. So when the embryo is appearing in curved in shape, we use the term called as the torpedo. This is an important one. For a mature embryo, okay, for a mature embryo which is appearing in curved shape, even this is the actual diagram showing how the embryo is in curved shape. So when the embryo is appearing in curved shape, we use the word called as what? Torpedo. Okay, the word called as torpedo. So whenever you are coming across the word torpedo in regarding to embryo, we should remember that the embryo is in what shape now? Curved shape. Especially when we are talking about the capsilla. When we are talking about the capsilla in the family of Cruciferae. Okay, in the family of Cruciferae. Now, the next point that we have to keep in mind is that an axis is present. An axis is present between the plumule and the radicle. Between the plumule and the radicle. Okay, if you are seeing in this diagram, we can say that there is an axis that is present between the plumule and the radicle. This is the axis, the main axis we call. Okay, this is the main axis we call. And we call this main axis as what? Embryonal axis. Embryonal axis we call it as. Okay, we call this as embryonal axis. So an axis is present between the plumule and the radicle. And this axis is called as what? Embryonal axis. And this embryonal axis, okay, the main embryonal axis is also called as tigellum. Okay, is also called as tigellum. Okay, it is also called as tigellum. So we came across one word called as torpedo. Torpedo means what? When the embryo is in curved shape, we are using what? Torpedo. When a mature embryo is in a curved shape, we are calling it as torpedo. At the same time, the embryonal axis, an axis that is present between the plumule and the radicle, an embryonal axis, is also called as what now? Tigellum. So this is another word that we have to keep in mind, that is tigellum. Okay, tigellum. Okay, tigellum. What is this tigellum? It is the main embryonal axis. It is the main embryonal axis. Okay, main embryonal axis that is there in this dicot embryo. We call it as what? Tigellum. We call it as tigellum. So here, if you are seeing, we are calling these two as what now? The next point, the cotyledons. Okay, these two are the cotyledons. if you are seeing the cotyledons, they are present on lateral position of the embryonal axis. On lateral position of the embryonal axis, there are cotyledons that are present. So you have to remember, cotyledons are present in lateral position. One on either side of what? The plumule. Means what? In between these two cotyledons, what is there? The plumule. Okay, the plumule will be there. See, if this diagram can also be taken in a simple way where we can draw like this. See, suppose these are the two cotyledons. Okay, two cotyledons, and here is the endosperm. Sorry, here is the embryonal axis. Let us say that this is the embryonal axis. This is the embryonal axis. Okay, this is the embryonal axis. And what are these? We are saying them as cotyledons. Okay, these two are the cotyledons. So cotyledons are present on lateral position. On lateral position of the embryonal axis. So you have to remember, the next one is that the cotyledons, okay, cotyledons are present on lateral position. Okay, they are present on lateral position of the embryonal axis. Lateral position of the embryonal axis. And where the portion of the embryonal axis, okay, the portion of the embryo which is above the cotyledons is called as what now? It will be called as the plumule. It will be called as the plumule. The portion of the embryonal axis that is below the cotyledons, this part will be called as what? The radicle. Okay, it is called as the radicle. Or otherwise, we call this, okay, we call this as what now? It is called as the epicotyle. Okay, epicotyle. Okay, it is called as the epicotyle, and whereas this part is called as the hypocotyle. Epicotyle and hypocotyle are the two parts of the embryonal axis, or in a, you can see these two parts in a matured dicot embryo. In a matured dicot embryo. And here we are coming across two words. What are those? Epicotyle and hypocotyle. So what is epicotyle? We said the portion of the embryonal axis, the portion of the embryonal axis which is above what? The attachment of what? The cotyledons is called as epicotyle. Is called as epicotyle. This epicotyle will be giving rise to what? Plumule. It is giving rise to plumule, or we can say it as stem tip, or we can say it as stem tip. So epicotyle is giving rise to what? The plumule, or otherwise we are calling it as stem tip. Or in simple sense, we can say that epicotyle is the one which gives rise to the shoot system, which gives rise to the shoot system. And the hypocotyle, okay, what is this hypocotyle now? Hypocotyle is the portion of the embryonal axis which is below the attachment of the cotyledons, below the attachment of the cotyledons. This part, okay, this part we are calling it as what? Hypocotyle. We are calling it as the hypocotyle, and this hypocotyle is giving rise to what? The radicle. It is giving rise to the radicle and the root tip. Okay, it is giving rise to the radicle and root tip, we say. Okay, root tip, or we can say this as or root tip. Okay, radical or root tip. And also please remember, we have already studied about the hypophysis, which is very close, adjacent to the embryo. We said adjacent to the embryo of the suspensor cells is what? Hypophysis. That hypophysis is this here, which is giving rise to what? The root cap. So all these together will help in what? Formation of the root system. Radicle will be giving rise to what? Root system. So here, let's check it out. The portion of the embryonal axis, the portion of the embryonal axis below the cotyledons is called as hypocotyle, which is giving rise to the radicle or root tip, we say. Root tip, and as well as here, what will be the root cap? This root cap is being formed from what? The hypophysis of the suspensor cells which are adjacent to the growing embryo. Which are adjacent to the growing embryo. We call this as the root cap. So here the next point that we came across is the epicotyle and hypocotyle. Epicotyle and hypocotyle are the two terms again we have to remember when we talk about the development of the dicot embryo. Showing two cotyledons. Showing how many cotyledons? Two cotyledons. That's why we are calling it as what? Dicot. Two cotyledons are seen. Okay, dicotyledons. So this type of development of embryo, is called as crucifer type. It is called as crucifer type. Okay, crucifer type or onograd type. It is also called as onograd type. Okay, crucifer type or onograd type. Please remember this. When it is growing or developing, showing all these stages, okay, all these stages or formation of the embryo, we call it as what now? Crucifer type or onograd type. And this is very common in the crucifer family or in the dicots. It is a very common type of development of embryo. Please remember, in all the dicots, this is the common type of development that is shown, and this is very clearly shown in what? Capsula. Okay, capsula will be showing what type of development of the embryo means. It is crucifer type. Okay, capsula will be showing crucifer type of development of embryo. So next point is that the development of embryo is endoscopic. Okay, is endoscopic. The development of embryo is called as what? Endoscopic. Why we are using the word endoscopic? Endoscopic means when the embryo is pushed inside or growing inside into the embryo sac, it is called as endoscopic. But otherwise, very clearly you have to keep in mind, endoscopic means when we came across the fertilized zygote, diploid cell present in the ovule, this ovule, okay, this zygote have undergone transverse section, which is unequal division, and it has formed into how many cells we said? It has formed into two cells we said, one which is small and one which is large we said, and one which is towards the basal side means at the micropyle region, we call it as suspensor, and one which is towards the terminal, which is inside, okay, inside, we call it as what? The terminal cell. This is terminal and this is suspensor. Remember, this I am saying basal cell, this I am saying suspensor. Okay, sorry, this I am saying it as basal cell, which is called as suspensor. This we are calling it as what? Terminal cell. This is the embryo cell, which is pushed inside into the embryonic sac. Okay, embryo sac. But here the question is this embryo. We said that this embryo undergoes division, two longitudinal divisions and one transverse division we said, forming into 8 cells we said, and all those 8 cells formed into how many now? 4 and 4 arranged. Okay, as we said, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 2 tiles. We said they are formed as 2 layers, and we said what? 2 tiles. And now if you are seeing here, we should remember that only these cells are participating in the formation of the embryo. Okay, not those or suspensor cells. Suspensor cells are also coming from what? The zygote only, but these cells are not developing into embryo. Please remember this. Okay, suspensor cells which are also formed from the zygote do not involve in the formation of the embryo. Even though they are coming from what? Zygote. Which means only few cells of the zygote are involved in formation of the embryo. So that's why we are using the word endoscopic. So endoscopic means what? When few cells of the zygote involved in formation of the embryo, we call it as endoscopic. Please remember this. This is another word which is very, very important. So here, when we are talking about development of dicot embryo, we have taken the example of what? Shepherd's purse. Shepherd's purse. Also known as what? Capsula bursa pastoris, which belongs to the family Cruciferae, discovered by whom? Hansteen. And because the body of the ovule is curved, even the embryo is in curved shape, and that's why we are calling it as what? Torpedo. Mature embryo is in curved shape, so we are using the word torpedo. And here we came across another word, the embryonal axis. Okay, the axis between what? The plumule and the radicle. There is an embryonal axis we said, and this embryonal axis is called as what? Tigellum. It is called as tigellum. So this tigellum is nothing but what? It is the main embryonal axis. And next one we said cotyledons. Cotyledons are placed, there are two cotyledons placed on lateral position of the embryonal axis, and this embryo is showing the two regions. Okay, it is showing two regions. One is called as what? Epicotyle and hypocotyle. The portion of the embryonal axis, or the portion of the embryonal axis attached above the cotyledons, the two cotyledons, is called as what? Epicotyle. Okay, the portion attached above the two cotyledons is epicotyle. Below is what? Hypocotyle. Epicotyle is giving rise to what? Plumule and stem tip. Whereas the hypocotyle will be giving rise to radical or root tip, we are saying. And this type of development of dicot embryo is seen in the, whatever we have seen is called as what? Crucifer type, or otherwise onograd type we are calling it as. And this is very common in all the dicot embryos and especially in capsula. Okay, capsula. And we are using the word endoscopic. Endoscopic means what? When only few cells of the zygote are involved in formation of the embryo, we call it as endoscopic. So here, now we are going to discuss development of monocot embryo. We studied dicot embryo. Now we will see how the monocot embryo is developing. Okay. Here, both in monocot and dicot, development of embryo is same until it is reaching to the globular stage. Okay, until it is reaching to the globular stage. But right from then, there will be some changes that are very clearly differentiated between the development of the dicot embryo and the monocot embryo. So now we will see how the monocot embryo is developing. How the monocot embryo is developing. So here, if you are seeing scutellum, this is nothing. Scutellum is nothing but it is a cotyledon. It is a cotyledon. There is only one cotyledon. There is only one cotyledon, which is scutellum is appearing in what shape means? It is appearing like a shield shape. Okay, shield shape we say. Okay, scutellum is shield shape, and it is there present on one side. Okay, of the embryo. Okay, on one lateral side of the embryo, this scutellum is present. Called as what? We are in simple words, we are calling it as, it is in shield shape we are calling. So the scutellum is nothing but what? It is a cotyledon. So here we can see very clearly that there is only one cotyledon present in the monocot embryo. So when there is development of the monocot embryo, we can see only one cotyledon, and this is very common in the grasses. Okay, in the grasses this is very common. Okay, when we are talking about the grasses, it is very common, showing only one cotyledon, which we are calling it as scutellum, which may be appearing in shield shape, present on one lateral side of the embryonal axis. Okay, on the embryonal axis. So here what we are saying now, on the embryonal axis of the monocot embryo, on the lateral side of the embryonal axis of the monocot embryo, there is only one cotyledon present as scutellum, which is shield shaped. This is very common in the grasses. This is very common in the grasses. So in grasses, the second cotyledon is highly reduced. It is highly reduced. Here, this is actually the second cotyledon, which is highly reduced, and that we are calling it as what? The epiblast. So you have to remember, epiblast is nothing but what? It is the second cotyledon which is highly reduced. So in grasses we will be seeing that the second cotyledon is highly reduced, which is called as the epiblast. So epiblast is what? It is the highly reduced cotyledon. It is highly reduced cotyledon. At the lower end of the embryonal axis, this is the lower end of the embryonal axis. At the lower end of the embryonal axis, we are seeing what? Radicle and root cap. If you are seeing very clearly, this is the radicle and the root cap is seen, which is enclosed by undifferentiated sheath called as what? Coleorhiza. Please remember that. Okay, radicle and root cap at the lower end of the embryonal axis, they are enclosed by what? An undifferentiated sheath called as coleorhiza. Okay, this is another point we have to keep in mind. So at the lower end of the embryonal axis, there is a radicle and root cap which are enclosed by undifferentiated sheath called as coleorhiza. Coleorhiza. In the next one, if you are seeing the portion of the embryonal axis, the portion of the embryonal axis that is attaching, okay, attaching above the scutellum. Okay, this is completely called as what? The scutellum. So this is the embryonal axis. The portion of the embryonal axis attached to this above the scutellum, this part. Okay, this part we are calling it as what now? We are calling it as the main part. Which is the main part? Which is the main part called as what? The epicotyle. Which is the main part called as the epicotyle. So this epicotyle will be giving rise to the shoot apex. This epicotyle will be giving rise to what now? The shoot apex. Okay, shoot apex and a few leaf primordia. These are formed from what now? It is from the epicotyle. So what is this epicotyle? Where is it present? It is present above the attachment of what? The scutellum. On the above, a portion of the embryonal axis. Okay, that is present above the attachment of what? The scutellum. A portion of the embryonal axis that is present above the attachment of the scutellum is called as the epicotyle. This epicotyle is giving rise to the shoot apex and a few leaf primordia which is enclosed in a foliar structure, which is completely enclosed in a foliar structure, which is called as the coleoptile. Okay, which is called as the coleoptile. So coleoptile, it is foliar structure which is enclosing what? The epicotyle. What is this epicotyle? What is this epicotyle giving rise to? It is giving rise to shoot apex and a few leaf primordia. What is this epicotyle means? It is the portion of the embryonal axis which is present just above the attachment of what? The scutellum, which means this is this part. Okay, this part. So whole of this part we are calling it as what? Epicotyle, which is giving rise to shoot apex and a few leaf primordia. And this epicotyle is completely enclosed by what? A foliar structure called as what? Coleoptile. So here is the coleoptile, like the foliar structure, which is completely enclosing the main part, that is the epicotyle. Okay, that is the epicotyle. So here you have to remember what is coleoptile. It is a leaf or foliar structure which is enclosing the epicotyle. Coleorhiza, it is enclosing what? The radicle and the root cap. So this is how the development of monopod embryo will be taking place. Thank you so much.